Ladies and gentlemen, at the day of this recording, a tournament has finished that an official tournament has finished that only allows to for you to play xin-xi. This game is the finals of this tournament. It's an official tournament once a month, and the prize pool is 30 euros on a web shop. Now, I have made a video previously about a insane Zebasi mirror game I've seen, and I thought to myself, ah, this is gonna be the most insane game I've ever seen for a while. It only took a few months for me to change that opinion, because this game now takes the spot. And I think after you watch this game, you'll agree with me. Because I the tournament for me started at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I can't really. 5, 6 is alright for me. I get up early, but 3 o'clock is just too early. I just missed it. And when I got up, the finals were already done. So I decided to look at the finals, which is this replay right here, and my jaw dropped. This game is just indescribable. This game is beyond my comprehension. It's This game is literally the definition of the meme, my goals are beyond your understanding. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just have a look. Let's just introduce the players first. So, as red, we have Obese Reese. He's a Poly Champions junior player. Um, w- don't make I make it sound like, oh, he's a junior, so he's not that good. No, a junior can easily destroy an average Polytopia player. A junior is like a 1500, 1600 in Poly Champions community. And Astria here is a pro, which means he's like a 2000. And you know he's serious when he's wearing the sharp skin. Folks, when you are playing against a player who has the sharp skin, you pretty much guaranteed to just have yourself destroyed, because you know that they're not playing around here. Okay, let's begin this amazing game. Here, Obese Reese and Astria just go ahead, and you know the first few turns aren't too wild. I mean, they're both going for the villagers, and I mean it's the usual Polytopia game. I mean, here Astria will just step onto the village and go for the other one. Oh, whoa! All right, going for the other village. And I mean, despite that, it's still a game handled by the pro players. So you know, they'll have like a normal opening, and nothing too wild will get played here. Oh my! Obese Reese gets hunting instead of mining, and I have you. Do you see all those mines here? Because Obese Reese in that territory has 8 mines. This is an amazing Chinchi spawn if you get mining. Why didn't he get mining? Well, the point is that mining here actually sets you a turn behind in terms of aggression. Obese Reese here got hunting to get riding, and roads to get one turn ahead of their opponent. One. And here, Estria decides villages are just not important and goes for the ruin. No, but this is just the beginning. This is the very beginning, because Astria gets 3 ticks on turn 4. I mean, he might as well go for the philosophy tick to get the wisdom tower, the tower of wisdom, because he's just getting all the ticks here. Next he'll be getting the entire hunting line branch, the entire organization branch, maybe the entire fishing branch. I mean, what is this? He chops for a warrior in his capital. And here a beast race just goes for a workshop. He's finally playing normally for a turn. Finally, this is a turn that is not completely out of the mind. It's a simple turn. And here, Astria goes ahead, chops for the economy. For a few turns, it's all peaceful. It's like we're playing xin-xi again, except for hunting in the beginning and ruin and a bunch of ticks got in. But it's a pretty normal tick, and you know the explorer here isn't so bad. I mean, it meets your opponent, gets you some stars. A beast race will here. Go ahead, just go for mining next turn, and here, um, yeah, here Astria will probably just go mining as well, and it's a pretty yeah he'll upgrade and go for mining. Okay, well he'll just capture a city here either way. That works out, and oh whoa, riding, not mining. Okay, obese Reese, like I said, goes for hunting to be extremely aggressive and be ahead of his opponent. Little does he know, his opponent does the same thing. They're both playing aggressive. I mean, they might be the lost twins because they think alike. When you see an aggressive player in a xin-xi game, that's already a rare sight. But to see two aggressive players in a xin-xi game, now that is just beyond rare now. That is like 1 in 1,000 chance here. And Obese Reese, instead of getting mining, gets roads. You know, going even further into the idea of just going completely aggressive. And here he just gets an explorer. I mean, his opponent is all the way to the left, but he still wants the vision. He's like, oh, give me all of my vision. Sure, it's not gonna really help me, but it's vision. It allows me to be a little bit more aggressive, so I'll take it. Here, Astria gets a very nice siege. Um, if you don't know, the dots at the bottom mean that he's capped at units, so he can't train another unit, which is why he left it blank. And Astria, without having vision, completely takes advantage of that and sieges. I don't know whether they were just looking at each other's POV, but here and here a B3's chops one because the city's gonna be captured next turn. So, but here, look at this position. This is a position that would be reached in like pretty much a Magi game. In every single Magi game, if you're winning, you'd reach this position on turn 9, where you're just getting a bunch of cities. But this is a Chinchi game. I don't know if both the opponents just misread Chinchi as Omaji and thought this was for some reason Omaji, or I don't know what they were doing, but I just want whatever they were smoking, honestly, because this is just 3 cities captured on the same turn on turn 9 as Chinchi. Like, that sentence just does not make sense to an average Polytopia player. And here Astria goes ahead and he connects up all the cities. You might be asking why, because even though the population isn't as helpful, he gets the Bazaar Monument, which I think he will use a bit later on, or this turn. Yeah, he uses it this turn, very logical, which is the first logical move in this game. Getting a Grand Bazaar here and just upgrading the city to get some extra stars, and then here Beast Reese goes ahead and double sieges, because that's what happens when you play, you decide to overextend on all those cities. You can't defend every single one when your opponent counterattacks. And Obese Reese finally, on turn 10, gets mining. He should have gotten that turns ago. He should have gotten that on like turn 2. Instead, he gets it on turn 10. When you first look at this game and you don't realize, like, you can show this game to an average Polytopia player or even like a pro player and not tell them who the players are, their rankings. They'll just guess like the players like a 900, because I mean, who plays like this? Going aggressive on Chinchi? And yet here, this is actually a completely amazing strat because it's kind of working. Astray here is winning with such an aggressive strategy. Here he gets an explorer for just even more vision. An average player here says, "Oh well, where will the explorer go? Like, why would I get an explorer here? It's just gonna go down there." Astrea says, "Hold my beer." Gets an explorer, proceeds to get pretty much the entire vision on his opponent. Just look at that amazing explorer. That explorer just completely itself is amazing. That's just a crazy explorer. I mean, the chances of that are just insane. And you know what he does next? He goes for another explorer. Even with that little bit of vision, the rest of the explorer is just completely wasted. But for that little bit of vision, I mean that's just insane. And Obesris decides to back up a little bit, get some economy going. Okay, you hold a fear, deal, but maybe I should just back up a little bit. Maybe I should just stop upgrading for a turn. Okay, so my mom so maybe I should just upgrade for a turn. Just hold back. You know, maybe I should be a little bit passive. It's not that bad of a deal. Well, Astray responds with being passive. What's that? And just completely and utterly launches a massive attack on Chinchi here, going over here as well, setting up a revealed attack with ideas of sieging Yopoli next turn. And here he gets another city, and I mean this is just look at that savagery. Just another explorer. He has gotten three explorers in those in like 2 turns. And here Obese Reese doesn't realize of the threat because he doesn't have an explorer and trains a unit here. But you know what Astray does? No, he doesn't even go for the siege. He decides to go for both the ruin and the siege next turn. I mean, he sees that the opponent can't really defend the Apolly anyway, so it's okay to delay the siege if you're gonna get the ruin. And by the way, the replay fog is turned on. This is his actual vision. He can see everything his opponent is doing, and so is his opponent for the most part. But the way this oh my gosh, I can't speak because this game it's driving me nuts. Chinchi is known as a very passive tribe. It's actually Chinchi is a tribe that gets the most into the late game because of its passiveness. It's known for being very passive and just not aggressive at all in the early game. Usually it's aggressive because you rush giants and get math quickly and you go for catapults and giants. But these two people must have woken up and said, "Huh, meta? What's that?" And just decided to completely break every single rule. Maybe they just made a checklist of how to play Chinchi and decided to just break every single law of playing Chinchi, because I think that's what they did, to be honest. And despite them going for crazy plays, they're still very good players. And you see here, Astria goes ahead and blocks with their units, making it very hard to unsiege for the opponent. You usually do this only when you want to get like a ruin or a city or a village. Don't do this normally. Don't just push your riders and warriors where they can be killed. This is very good blocking, and it's not seen a lot. I don't see average players playing it, but it's actually really nice. And this actually sieging this city actually diverts Obese's Reese's units from this city, so Astray here is just playing moves ahead, even though he's just completely. I mean, both of them are being completely aggressive, and here obese Reese gets smithery, which is finally obese Reese understands understands how to play Chinchi. Finally, he read a guide online how to play Chinchi. I mean, the first 10 turns were, I mean, kind of out of the mind, but maybe he's understanding. Maybe he'll finally win because that's the average way you play Chinchi. I mean, Astray here, absolute madman, decides to go for a park. Just who cares about a giant? When you got a park, what are you gonna do about it? It's an 8v5. I mean, you can't even win this. And the funny thing is, as obese Reese is starting to go back into playing the average strategy for playing Chichi, he loses. He's completely losing now because the correct play here was just to continue getting riders and roads and here in defending. And Astria finally decides, all right, you drive a fair bargain. Maybe I should make a giant here. Maybe if I mean Park is okay, but I've tortured my opponent enough by getting a Park, and obese Reese just says, "Why are you bullying me?" He hits a giant in return because he basically has to. This entire army is just unstoppable if he doesn't get a giant here. But here Astria doesn't even have to do anything. This is a glory game, by the way, which is why Astria went for a Park. The giant would be too far and would take too long. He's just going for the 10k, as well as trying to get for the win. Him creating a giant here forces obese Reese to create a giant in return. So actually, this is a big brain strat. So there's and Astria, I don't know, maybe he misclicked, maybe while listening to some Chad music, he accidentally uh, touched the um, touched the explorer button with his muscular arms, but he goes for an explorer, and the explorer reveals nothing. I mean, I could make a joke about him, you know, getting that one tiny extra bit of vision just to, make a big brain move. Oh, there can't be a rider there. That means that in 15 turns, I can siege the city and win. Well, the game will be over by 15 turns, or before 15 turns. So, that's why he's not thinking that. And here, Beast Reese goes for an explorer and gets another giant. Because basically his only hope here is to try and somehow break through because it's an 8v5. You cannot win a glory matchup in a 8v5 because your opponent just gets all the technologies and just completely gets all the score. And here um Astria gets sailing, very nice. He's just going for the sea. He's just basically slowly stripping away his opponent from counterplay. Or yeah, maybe later in the game you could actually Obesiris could go for sailing. So maybe I could go for sailing too. You never know. He's just not allowing Obesiris to do anything in this situation. And here he just takes out the giants. I mean, he's got a massive rider army, and there's just nothing that Obesiris can do. Like, look at that. This is an unbreakable siege. The riders are coming. The rider horde is coming. This is not an Omaji game, but it's played like Omaji. And here, Obese Reese just decides to, alright, I'm too lazy to press the resign button, so I'm just gonna, get free spirit and, just yeah, just siege all my cities. And Astria just goes along with it and just gets trade, which is it's basically the best move right now. He just goes along with it. It's like a normal day for him. He wakes up, hey, makes history. Like his opponent just completely gives him a winning position, and he just keeps playing the best moves. Now, I'm not surprised if even after capturing his capital, he'll be like getting he'll be like, I don't know, getting some trade house setups and just delaying the win by a few turns. And here, B3 is just, you know, goes for strategy because and asks for a piece treaty because, I mean, what else can you do in this situation? Your opponent just completely destroyed you with a strategy you've never seen for xin-xi before. I mean, I would do that too, to be honest. And here, Astra just performs a swift execution, goes ahead, and doesn't go for the trade houses like I told you. It's if he gets to 10,000 score, by the way, he wins because it's glory. So he just proceeds to get a park and get another one and get to 1,000 score, 10,000 score. Sorry. What an insane game! What an insane game this was. Thinking outside the box. This game was just insane. If you just tweaked this as Omaji and said, oh, well, it was a bug where Omaji started with climbing, but if you made this entire like replay instead of Chi-Chi Omaji, it would make more sense. Playing a different tribe like this, a completely opposite tribe like this, would make more sense than playing Chi-Chi like this. And that's what I love about watching high rated elo players play like, I don't know, 900s and just play in general, because there is so much outside of the box thinking here that you know so much breaking of the meta and experimenting that is just it was that's why it was a beautiful game. It was the best game so far on the of the finals of the official tournament. All the other finals of the official tournaments were way less insane, except this was the second most insane game in terms of comparing to all the tournaments, because then there was the Imperious Mindbender game between me and Viking, but we don't talk about that game. We just don't talk about that game. That game is lost to history right now. But both these players decided to wake up and make history, and I decided to end up into a gala video. But yeah, this I hope you enjoyed watching this game and watching this replay, because I sure did. This is like the sixth time I'm viewing this replay. A bunch of my recordings failed, so but each time it's just destroying my mind at how you can play like this as Chinchi. As I said, it's one of the most passive tribes to ever play. So, you know, if you like to comment down in the sections whether you do this or not, because I'm interested. Is this actually like a strategy for Chinchi? It looks like it's a strategy because Astria played it, and he's a very good player. But do you play like this often? Do you like, I don't know, players, outside players, viewers of this video play like this? But anyway, I hoped you enjoyed this video, because I hoped you learned something from this video, even though the video's purpose was just for entertainment and to have fun. But I hope you enjoyed it, honestly, because otherwise there was no point of this video to be made in the first place. But bye bye, I guess.